Are you tired of juggling multiple software tools to manage your agency? Say hello to Deltek Workbook, the ultimate solution for marketing and communication agencies. With Workbook, you can streamline your projects, resources, and finances all in one place. Imagine real-time dashboards and reports giving you full visibility into your projects, people, and financials. Plan your team's capacity weeks in advance to avoid bottlenecks while staying on budget to maximize project margins. Plus, Workbook works perfectly for both agencies and in-house marketing teams looking to boost efficiency and profitability. And here's the best part. At PCI, we're a certified Deltek partner and reseller offering expert implementation, integrations, and ongoing support to ensure your success. Want to see how Deltek Workbook can transform your operations? For a free consultation, visit pci.us/podcast today. That's pci.us/podcast.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Debra Eckerling, author, goal strategist, and book proposal specialist, and this is the Book Proposal Podcast. This week's question comes from Brandon, who asks, how do I choose which publisher to send my proposal to? There are different ways to go about finding the right publisher for your book proposal. It's a big question, so I'm just going to try and keep this as simple as possible. The larger publishing houses, namely the big five and their imprints, will only allow submissions through an agent. However, there are plenty of smaller publishers that accept proposals and queries directly from writers. So the first decision you need to make is whether to seek out an agent or go directly to publisher. If you are going the direct-to-publisher route, start with a simple online search of which publishers accept unagented manuscripts, or which publishers accept unsolicited manuscripts, or which publishers are open to direct submissions. Any of these searches will give you listicles of publishers that accept unagented manuscripts, and usually they'll all have the name of the company and a little description. So from there, you need to go into research mode. From the list you're reading, see which ones jump out at you as you think would be a good fit for you. Then go to their website, take a look around, see what other books they've published, to see if yours would fit well in their catalog. You also might want to go just directly to their submissions page and see what their guidelines are, because that will tell you what types of manuscript genres, their book proposal requirements, if it's beyond standard structure, and usually a timeline for which you can expect to wait before you hear back from them. Usually it's about 2 months, and some might even say, if you don't hear from us in a certain amount of time, thank you, no thank you. Another approach for finding a publisher is to see what books you like, look into who publishes them, and again, go through the research. Google, see if they'll accept unagented manuscripts and their requirements. You can do multiple submissions when sending out your manuscript, and then when someone shows interest, they may ask you who else has seen or received your book proposal. So you definitely want to be tracking everything you send out. A third way to find publishers is through networking. And yes, that is my favorite way, because if you get an intro into a publishing house or you know someone who knows someone, it's always better than when sending a blind submission. So you can ask your author friends if they have recommendations or introductions for you. You can look on LinkedIn and see if you know anyone affiliated with publishing houses in general or a specific publishing house that you're targeting. Ask these connections if they're open to having a conversation. And an introduction might not get you the deal, but you're also getting into the publishing world, into these conversations, and that is a step in the right direction. You can also ask your author friends, what sort of networking events they go to, what writers groups are they involved with, because that leads me to my next recommendation, which is find and get involved with online and in-person writers communities. Author friends are a really good breed, if you have the right ones. We want each other to succeed. The part of the reason I started this podcast is because agents and publishers need manuscripts they can sell. So I'm trying to break down to make it as easy as possible for those who got the nonfiction book in them to get their ideas into a book proposal and out into the world. So when you're involved in writers' communities, you have author friends. If you have specific asks, they are going to have specific recommendations for you. The other part of this is to attend writer events and conferences, because many of these offer an add-on where you can pitch to agents and publishers as part of the event. And then there are also some events that are specifically for pitching publishers and agents. For example, Women's National Book Association San Francisco chapter, where I'm on the board, we host an annual pitchorama where authors can pitch ideas for fiction and nonfiction books to multiple agents and publishers via Zoom. So you've got usually 7 different opportunities to pitch your idea. And if there's interest, they will ask you to send, depending on if it's fiction or nonfiction, your manuscript, sample writing, and or book proposal. One note before you sign up for any of these writers events, especially the paid pitch events, do your due diligence, make sure it's legit, see what other experiences people you know have had. Some of the large ones, Writer's Digest, obviously, they're known and have been doing events for years. I'm talking about the ones that aren't generally known. Whether you're sending your proposal out to an agent or directly to a publisher, remember one thing: your cover letter and query needs to be as professional as your book proposal and your manuscript. Spelling counts, formatting counts. Make sure your submission is in line with what they published. That also counts. I recently wrote an article for Writer's Digest on pet peeves from publishers, so you can learn more about what they do and don't like. The bottom line is this: before sending out your book proposal, look at the publishers that are out there that are a fit, write a professional query, make sure your book proposal adheres to their submission guidelines. Put your best foot forward, so in the event that your book is not a fit for them, you can go back to them later with future pitches and they will remember you fondly. There are so many ins and outs of finding the best home for your book. I will likely keep addressing this topic, and I will definitely cover finding an agent in a future podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow, subscribe, and join me every week. And let's turn your idea into a plan and your plan into a book so your book can get into the hands of those who need to read it. Do you have a question about book proposals? Email me, deb@thedebmethod.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn and follow @thedebmethod for more resources and tips to get you excited about planning and achieving your book publishing goals. And you can learn more at bookproposalpodcast.com.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Robbie Samuels hosts the On the Schmooze podcast. Robbie, tell listeners what to expect from the show.
Since 2015, I've interviewed entrepreneurs who overcame challenges to achieve success in their field or industry. Tune in to On the Schmooze to listen as I ask deep questions to elicit untold stories about leadership and networking.
And where can people subscribe?
Find the show at ontheschmooze.com or on marketingpodcast.net, or just search for it wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard them. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.